okay?
If you punch me there, I'm gonna take your head off your shoulders.
No.
But I know you were hurt. And you know what? Forget me, forget him, forget all these people. You know you were hurt. Because I heard what you said. You know.
It's your opinion.
No. It's your opinion. No, it's my opinion. Yeah. It's your reality.
Not my reality.
Okay.
Stop. It's my time now. Listen.
Total mayhem erupts as Daniel Dubois and Oleksandr Usyk's teams clash in a fiery showdown before their highly anticipated rematch.
Oh, like you go, you went, and you sat there, and your body started to move like this. I saw what I saw. And the referee went, and then you went. And then he said,
Okay, 3 minutes.
That's not opinion. You can go watch. Everyone can go watch.
Listen, bro.
Listen, Daniel now is a world champion. Yeah. For me, first it's Tyson Fury, second Anthony Joshua, and then is Daniel Dubois.
And do you think this Dubois is a much better Daniel Dubois than the first one you fought?
I have no idea. Now Dubois world champion. Yeah, a little bit better.
Moreover, Daniel Dubois isn't holding back. The British heavyweight claims that he has a strategy to exploit Usyk's age and the wear and tear from his grueling fight series with Tyson Fury. Dubois' bold declaration, "I'll make Usyk feel old," has caught the attention of boxing fans, with many wondering if he can really capitalize on the signs of wear in the reigning undisputed heavyweight champion.
He had a lot to say at the end of the first fight, and I've heard you say that this time you'll have something to say to him at the end of the fight. Have you thought about what that's really?
Yeah, you got something for it ready. Let's tell him on the night after the fight.
Any clue?
No clues, man. No clues. You guys are going to see a spectacular show.
Do you think he's got better since the Fury fights? Because in 24 rounds with Tyson Fury, right? You know, and he's won a lot of those rounds. So could he have got better?
I think he's a little bit worn. Those two fights with Fury and the fights with me and everyone, they've all taken a little bit out of him. Now I'm gonna make. I've got to know what I've got to do. I've got to make him old on the night. Like you say, you can turn a guy old in one night in a fight. And that's what I gotta do.
The first fight between Dubois and Usyk back in 2023 was a spectacle filled with drama. Usyk, despite being knocked down by Dubois in the 5th round, eventually outboxed his opponent and stopped him in the 9th round. Many believe that Dubois at the time was still in the early stages of his career, while Usyk was already a seasoned champion, having won multiple world titles in the heavyweight division. However, Dubois feels like he's learned a lot since that loss and is ready to make a statement in the rematch.
Yeah, just different mindset, different mentality. You know, I'm sure now, I'm more sure than I was then, and that's a big difference, you know, it makes a massive difference. Call it belief or whatever, but I just know I've got it now.
Belief is, I think, a key word. Not only is your belief in yourself, we've seen that grow, but faith is quite a part in what you believe in, right? Heading into your fights, and you think like your prayer, your God, is that helping you for this?
Yeah, I think that's a massive part of it. I think I do the works in the gym, and like you said, prayer and all that. You know, I do the works in the gym, and I'm focused. I live like a monk. You know, I live like a monk, training, eat, sleep, train, repeat, and that's that sort of doing that and consistently doing that. You're gonna rise to another level and be good at what you do, and that's all I'm doing then.
Dubois certainly feels he's in Usyk's head, something he touched on during the pre-fight press conference. In a confident tone, Dubois said he'd already seen Usyk flinch and hinted that he wasn't going to let the Ukrainian control the mental aspect of the fight this time around. Though it may sound like trash talk to some, Dubois' words may carry weight, especially considering the personal stakes of this bout. For Dubois, who has reaped the benefits of his high-powered punching, the rematch could be his chance to make a definitive statement in the heavyweight division. He's been building momentum since the first fight, most recently scoring high-profile stoppage victories over Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgovic, and even former champion Anthony Joshua. With a record of 22 wins, 2 losses, and 21 knockouts, he's clearly a dangerous opponent, one who has more to prove this time around.
Have you ever worn your championship belt around the house just for fun?
No.
Yes.
Have you ever wanted to punch the referee but didn't?
No. Yes.
Do you think you can land a punch blindfolded?
Yeah. Of course.
Do you believe your opponent is underestimating you?
Yeah. No.
Do you believe this fight will cement your legacy?
Yeah. No.
Will this fight end before the final bell?
We'll see. Yes.
Do you think your last performance was your best yet?
The best is yet to come. No.
Do you think the outcome of this fight will shock the world?
Yeah. No.
Do you feel you're fighting not just for yourself, but for your country?
Yeah. Yes.
Will you be undisputed champion on July 19th?
Yes. Yes.
While many analysts are favoring Usyk as the favorite, Dubois' raw punching power cannot be overlooked. Malik Scott, a former coach of Deontay Wilder who has also worked with Usyk in the past, has praised Dubois as a big, dangerous puncher. Scott, who has sparred with both fighters, acknowledged that while Dubois is a serious threat, Usyk's intelligence and experience might prove too much. Scott believes that Usyk's ability to adapt and find ways to win makes him a formidable opponent for anyone, including Dubois.
I think Oleksandr Usyk is the best fighter in the world, and I've been in training camp, I've seen him up close, I've seen what he goes through. Before the Fury fight, I thought he would probably have the better of Tyson in that second fight, and I think the rounds, as they ticked on, he was just more and more superior. I thought Tyson actually boxed really well second time. Look, Oleksandr Usyk is a phenomenon. I agree with Spencer that Daniel Dubois is a much, much better mentally and physically athlete, fighter, person, maturity than he was a couple of years ago. He's on a fantastic run. Those wins, that gutting out win over Jarrell Miller to stop him. Hrgovic again taking the licks in the first 3 rounds. And Joshua, of course, absolutely phenomenal.
But this is a whole different animal.
This is a whole different animal. And look, he has to, as Duke said, he has to just keep the pace at him. He's got to work the body. He's got to take risks. Yes, he's got power. He's a phenomenal fighter, Daniel Dubois. However, Usyk's so clever. He's so good in rematches. He's so good on his feet. He's going to have to hope that he's on the decline, and I haven't seen it.
But it's not just Dubois who senses that Usyk might be showing cracks. Fraser Clark, another British heavyweight and former Team GB teammate of Dubois, also weighed in on the upcoming clash. Clark, who has shared the ring with both fighters, highlighted Usyk's professionalism and subtle boxing skills, which he described as unmatched. However, Clark also pointed out that Dubois has the power to exploit any mistakes Usyk might make. Though Clark acknowledged Usyk as one of the best fighters in the division, he noted that for Dubois to pull off the upset, Usyk would likely need to have an off night.
I know he's had his defeats, but if you were going to do it, this is the time. You leave everything. You leave everything. You know what I mean?
Never been done before. Never.
Do you think he can do it, Simon?
I've always felt we could do it.
Yeah.
I've always felt that he has the capability of doing it. The thing for me is I think that Daniel Dubois is an irresistible force. I'm just worried that Oleksandr Usyk is an immovable object.
Yeah.
I think you have to have the very, very best version of Daniel Dubois, and maybe Usyk off by 2 or 3%. Dubois wins the fight.
You're exactly right.
If he is to win, no. If he's to, I'm going to pick him to win because I want to. Now that's me going with my heart because he's an Englishman. Who do you think wins the fight?
I still can't see past Alexander Usyk. You know, I think we just spoke about, is he getting older or is he getting better? I think the way he lives his life.
Get off the fence. Who's going to win?
I think Usyk. Yeah.
At 38 years old, Usyk is approaching the later stages of his career. While there's little evidence that his abilities have diminished, the physical toll of his past battles could begin to take its toll. If Dubois is to secure an unlikely victory, he will need to bring his best performance yet and possibly rely on Usyk showing any signs of wear and tear. One thing that cannot be ignored is the scale of the event. The fight is set to take place at Wembley Stadium, where over 83,000 tickets have already been sold. Frank Warren, the promoter behind the fight, is even considering applying for a higher crowd limit, potentially pushing the attendance to over 94,000. The atmosphere is expected to be electric as the UK boxing community rallies behind Dubois, who will have home field advantage. For Usyk, fighting in a foreign land presents its own set of challenges, even though he's a battle-tested champion.
83,000, that sounds like bad news for Carl Froch.
Well, I didn't even think about that. All I know, it sounds like good news for the promotion, and more importantly, Daniel, who I'm sure is going to get a lot of support, especially after his last performance there, back to back, against AJ. You know, people went there, obviously, most of them as the supporters of AJ, and cut a long story short, I think he won them over with his performance. So I hope that's going to translate into big support for him. Again, having said that, the Brits love Usyk. You know, he's a road warrior. He's done everything that's been asked of him. Going back to the Olympics, cruiserweight, winning and unifying the 4 belts there, doing the same in the heavyweight division. So it's going to be a really, really electric night. There's no doubt about that.
But for Usyk, preparation is key, and he's certainly leaving no stone unturned in this regard. The Ukrainian heavyweight champion is known for his dedication to his craft. Don Charles, the trainer of Daniel Dubois, recently reflected on their decision to take on Oleksandr Usyk at a challenging moment in their preparation. According to Charles, the timing of the fight was far from ideal. With only 14 weeks to prepare after Dubois' split from Shane McGuigan, the training camp was intense and rushed. Charles was attempting to instill his own boxing philosophy in a fighter still in the process of adjusting to the highest level of competition. In hindsight, Charles admitted it may have been a risky move, as Dubois was still learning to adapt to the demands of the sport's elite.
Yeah, what can I say? I can't elaborate enough. I'm very happy, we are very happy. We happen to be sitting on a log of wood, touch wood. Everything's going according to plan. Look, we're experienced now. The first encounter with Usyk in Poland was almost 2 years ago. We're like 5 weeks away from it being 24 months since I started working with Daniel Dubois. You know, so a lot has changed. So very, very excited. Very, very excited.
However, looking at Dubois now, Charles is far more confident in his fighter's readiness. The progression since the Usyk fight has been impressive, and the boxer's growth is evident to many in the boxing community. Dubois' victory over Anthony Joshua was a defining moment, not just a win, but a statement that he is now a serious contender in the heavyweight division. What stood out most, however, was his transformation from a raw, heavy-handed fighter into someone who is far more calculated and versatile in the ring. This evolution makes him a much tougher challenge for Usyk should they meet again in 2025, with Dubois now a more strategic and unpredictable force.
You are ready. We thought as humans we were ready then. Now I believe we're ready. Now I believe Daniel's going to receive the gift that was supposed to be for him 2 years ago. That's my take on it.
Nothing tells the story like time passing, and this is turning into quite the story. So if you look at Daniel in that first fight, away from home, he'd only just got with you as a coach. He was, heading into really the lion's den. No one was really picking him to win. It was limited experience, a huge jump up in levels.
Yep.
But the story now is, I mean, look at the last 3 wins, incredible. He's been with you so much longer. He's at home. He's in familiar surroundings of Wembley Stadium. It's all lining up.
Absolutely.
This big kind of almost spiritual moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, you couldn't write this. You couldn't write it, but it's real, it's happening, it's unfolding.
Johnny Nelson believes Usyk will outclass Dubois in a more calculated manner this time around. Nelson argues that the fight won't be decided by one massive punch, but rather through Usyk's consistent strategic pressure that will slowly break Dubois down. He points to Usyk's superior ring IQ and his ability to adapt in any situation as key factors in the Ukrainian's favor. Nelson feels Usyk has already figured out Dubois and doubts the younger fighter will be able to find a solution.
The top 5 heavyweights.
The world heavyweight landscape is completely changed massively over the last 2 years. Oleksandr Usyk he's in a pick and plan. I'll pick him. Might be 2 fights down the line. He's gone. The heavyweight landscape. They're looking for a new star, a new dominant figure, and it could involve Fabio. The boxing snob is out there winning now. Moses, wicked fighter, young fighters coming through. You look at how Daniel has obviously his confidence has come up. We'll see how he goes on against Usyk. Again, he may shock the world. So the landscape has changed, which again, it's very hard to predict tomorrow.
How much of a chance do you give Daniel Dubois in comparison to the second AJ fight, the Fury fights?
I think Daniel's performance in this fight will be better than his first fight against Usyk, but I do believe Usyk will put on a better performance and probably stop Daniel, in my opinion. Usyk has forever shown the public that let me blueprint download your blueprint and I've got your number. He beat Tyson better the second time. He beat AJ better the second time, and both fighters boxed better the second time around. So the only thing Daniel's got now, he's got unbelievable self-belief and confidence that's come since their last fight. So again, we'll just see what's changed.
On the other hand, former champion Prince Nassim Hamed takes a different stance, recalling how Dubois' low blow in the first fight unsettled Usyk in a way few opponents have. Hamed believes that if Dubois can bring the same intensity, but this time without fouling, he might stand a real chance against Usyk. He suggests that the Ukrainian's moments of vulnerability are something Dubois could exploit, potentially leading to an upset.
Fury, AJ next, you think both of them coming off losses? It's the fight we always wanted to see as domestic boxing fans.
Yeah, I suppose that fight is right there and everybody still wants to see it. But to be honest, we've still got Daniel Dubois, and I was sat next to Daniel Dubois.
Triple D, baby.
Triple D, baby, all day, every day. Let me just tell you this. In my eyes, for me, he's the only one. Triple D is the only one, Daniel Dubois is the only one that's ever hurt Usyk and put him down on the floor, made him think. And he was down there for like 3-4 minutes. So who's to say that once he fights Usyk again, to go out there and absolutely destroy him and bring our belts back to our country like it's supposed to be.
Legendary coach Teddy Atlas, while acknowledging Dubois' growth, remains firmly in Usyk's corner. Atlas has repeatedly highlighted Usyk's resilience and his knack for finding a way to win, regardless of the situation. Although Usyk is 38 and has gone through a challenging stretch of fights, including his bouts with Tyson Fury, Atlas believes the Ukrainian will still have enough in the tank to withstand Dubois' power and newfound confidence.
Dubois has found himself. He's a different fighter. He's a different animal now. Anyone who thinks that it's the same fight, they're wrong. I can't go against Usyk. I can't. Because the guy, his greatest strength is he always finds a way to win. Always. The amateurs, Olympic gold, cruiserweights, unified heavyweights, goes to London, fights a bigger guy, fights him twice, beats him. Then he goes and fights a bigger guy again, fights him twice, Fury, beats him. I mean, the guy knows how to, finds a way to win. He's special, but he's getting older. I would have preferred, like I said, I have nothing but admiration for both. I have some maybe extra love towards Usyk for everything he represents for his country, to fight through what I said that he fought through. I love Dubois because he's a great story for people that have been down, that you can get up. Don't give up on yourself. You can find redemption. You can turn it around. He is a great example. But Usyk, I would have loved to see him walk off into the sunset after the last Fury fight. He's getting older. He's been in a lot of tough fights. He had hundreds of amateur fights. This is an unforgiving business. It is. I know it firsthand. He's getting better. He's found himself. He's at that place now in his life where he's only going to get better. He believes in himself. He knows what he is now. He knows he can depend on himself. He is more dangerous now than he ever was. He was always a good puncher. But now he's more than just a good puncher. He's a solid man in that ring. It's a dangerous fight for Usyk. It's a very, very, very... And I salute him again. Even though I wish what I wish, I don't hide what I feel. I say it. But I salute him, that son of a gun. He's not stupid. He knows the guy's going to be better. He knows the guy's younger. He knows how dangerous. He knows how he knocked out Joshua. He knows all of that. And what does he say? Give me fight. Something like that.
Give me
along
Daniel.
Those lines. Give me Daniel, please. Thank you. Something along those lines. I love Usyk. You gotta love him. You gotta love his attitude. You gotta love the way he always finds a way to win. You gotta love the way he conducts himself, the way he carries himself. Like what? Like what? Like a champion. And like I said, you have to have nothing but enormous respect for the other guy, Daniel Dubois.
Dave Allen, who has sparred with Usyk, recognizes the champion's technical brilliance, but sees significant improvements in Dubois' game. Allen notes that Dubois has evolved into a much more intelligent fighter who now combines his natural punching power with a more strategic approach, making the rematch much more competitive than many anticipate.
I think Dubois is going to beat him. That's my early prediction. I know a lot of people will obviously fancy Usyk, and rightfully so. And as much as I like Dubois and think he's getting better and all the rest of it, I'd like to see Usyk win. I think Usyk's a great fella and a great fighter, but I think Dubois will win.
Ricky Hatton, another veteran of British boxing, echoes Allen's sentiments, highlighting how Dubois has become a more dangerous fighter since his setback against Joe Joyce in 2023. Hatton believes the upcoming rematch will be one of the most exciting heavyweight contests in recent memory, with Dubois' evolution making him a serious threat.
Dubois, what do you make of that fight, the rematch?
I think it's the best fight. I think they're the best two heavyweights in the world, and there was a bit of controversy with the last time, which goes with the grain in boxing, doesn't it? A bit of controversy, but no, I think Daniel's got a better chance than he had the first time. Yeah, what with the win off Joshua, that his confidence is massively up. Well, when he fought Usyk last time, he come off the defeat from Joyce, and but now he's absolutely flying. He's got as good a chance. Better chance than he had the first time around, I think.
Derek Chisora, who has faced both fighters, remains cautious in his assessment. He acknowledges Dubois' improvements, but stresses just how difficult it is to defeat someone with Usyk's technical prowess and composure under pressure. While Chisora doesn't entirely rule out Dubois' chances, he leans toward Usyk, citing the champion's consistency and proven track record at the highest level.
Derek, in regards to yourself, are you going to just sit back and see what happens with Dubois and Usyk first?
Yes, because I want to sit down and watch it. So, give a shout to Daniel. Good luck anyway. You'll be fighting a guy who's very on point. So, yeah, I'll be watching.
Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who faced Dubois in a high-profile bout, believes that Usyk's condition will be key in the rematch. Miller recognizes the improvements Dubois has made, but also wonders if Usyk has lost a step after his grueling battles with Tyson Fury. Depending on how Usyk performs, Miller believes the rematch could go either way. However, he personally leans toward Dubois, pulling off the upset, citing the champion's age and potential wear and tear from his previous fights.
I think he's definitely graduated since our fight. Can Dubois pull it off? I think he definitely can. It depends on how much Usyk has in the tank. If he can outwit Dubois. I think it's a great fight regardless. And the best man is gonna win. You know what I mean? I want my rematch with Dubois. I'm gonna fuck him up. But it's weird, man. Dubois is the only person that can make me want to hate him and then like him, like literally within 30 seconds of my brain, like I want to kill this motherfucking I like Dubois. It's weird. He's one of the only fighters that actually do that to me. But I realized that if you actually meet Dubois and talk to him, there's a reason why you have that love-hate sympathy with him. You know what I'm trying to say? So all power to Dubois. You know what I mean? Hopes he pulls it off in many ways and give him a goddamn rematch.
As fight night approaches, all eyes will be on Usyk's age, the potential toll from his battles with Fury, and whether Dubois can exploit any weaknesses. The rematch promises to be an epic clash of styles, and the winner will not only take home the undisputed heavyweight crown, but also the respect of the entire boxing world.